Alrighty, and we're back. Back again. Let's continue working on this little tool. I need to make a note for myself actually. Self. Replace selected with tool. Okay, anyways. So we have this. We made it so that it can watch a folder. It detects albedo, or it detects one of these. So it has to start going through these maps and applying them. I think in order to automate this, I was calling these nodes by the name of the material property they're going to be working with. So albedo, metallic roughness, normal occlusion, height, which I think isn't quite correct. Let's see. So albedo, which in this case is called albedo texture. Are they all called texture at the end? Metallic texture. Roughness, no, roughness texture, yes. Occlusion is not actually called occlusion, is it? It's got to be enabled. AO texture, so this is going to be AO. AO. Shut up, Steve. Height. Got to be enabled. Height map texture. Okay, so height map. Cool. All right. So what do we do then? Golden. Welcome. Hello. What do we do? We need to... Let's see, we're looping through the files, so I suppose... I feel like I should be looping through these. Let's loop through maps before we start looping through files. That to me seems a bit better. So for maps, or map, node, in, maps. Okay. Let's call it map hbox. So we go to the albedo. We need to extract what? Map type. We should be looping through, by the way, something in here. Get children. Map type is going to be map hbox.name. So we're going to get this name, albedo metallic roughness. That is going to be exported into a new variable. Next, we need to extract the contents of this text edit. Map suffix. So we're going to talk to the hbox, get child 1. So this is child 0, this is child 1, and then get text. That gives us the map suffix. Now we start looping through the paths. We detect if it's a JPEG, and then if map suffix has been found in the file with no extension, then we need to load that file. I don't know if it's going to allow us to load stuff from outside of the user directory. We might have to copy it there first. I guess we'll have to see. File path. Actually, we have... Hold on. We have an image texture loading command, don't we? Image texture new. Load. I swear we have one. Yeah. That's SVG. Create from image. Image, image load from file. That gets loaded first, and then image texture. Create image from the loaded data. And that gives us the texture. Got it. Okay. I think that could work. What the heck? Okay. So, take the file path. Load it in here. So we don't create a new resource. That is going to be done like this. Interesting. Texture. We get the texture. And now we have to apply it to the view cube. Let's call it the view mesh. Just in case. View mesh. Material. We have only one material. Surface material override. Surface material, surface, there's only one material here. Might present a problem if we have multiple materials. But again, purpose of this is to just do a single model, single material test, for the time being at least. Get surface override material 0, and then that gets us the material. Then we set, what do we set? We set map type plus the word texture, because if it's albedo, then this property is albedo texture. And then we set it to the texture we have finished loading here. Okay. Oh. Okay, I just printed albedo multiple times, but that makes sense. We have printed this. Okay, so let's do print map print s map suffix found. So if it finds a map, it is going to display that map. It does not find the map. Albedo. Oh, albedo. Well, now it finds the map, and it does. It attempted to do something. Map albedo found. Okay. We did get an error. Button down. Error opening. Failed to open image. Load from file. This, I think, right here is precisely the reason we can't really load from outside of the, let's say, user folder, or creates a new image and loads data from specific file. But I would imagine this file has to be local. Has to be local file path. Found at. Let's print the path. Oh, that's not a path. That's just the file. Doesn't want the full path? Path. Oh, that makes sense. This is not the directory. We opened the directory in this folder, so the directory can work with the local files, but this is a totally separate class. So we have to add that together. there's no forward slash at the end, so we have to add a forward slash here. Holy shit, it works. No flipping way. Huh. Okay, the height is... Yeah, well, we knew the height was going to be messed up. Okay, well, interesting. So this means... Creator shutdown. This means that we should be able to... Oh, this is interesting. We should be able to load the other maps this way. Okay, I don't have the map anymore. Let's just go here. Alright, so let's say it is going to be not metallic at all. So, export. Blah. Metallic. Okay. It is going to have some roughness. So let's do black means no roughness, so really smooth. And then if I do some wiggly stuff here, where's my pen? Here's my pen. I'll do stuff like this. Okay. We'll worry about repetition afterwards. Roughness. Okay, so that should be more than enough for starters. So if we watch... Holy Jesus. Dude, that was easier than I thought. Alright. Okay, so let's do this. We're gonna definitely have some sort of a light adjustment tool. That's really cool. Okay, so left click right now rotates the whole cube. Left click rotates the whole cube. So what if... Maybe we should keep it as right click, but then shift right click is going to rotate the light sources. We need to also zoom in and out. Okay. So right, and then we're going to check if input button pressed. Oh, this is mouse button pressed. Okay. Is the keyboard label pressed? Shift OP. Shift P. Okay, so if it is pressed, we'll do the lights. If it's not, we're going to do the camera. Okay. So we have our lights placed right here, and the lights are only going to rotate left and right. So place that there, check if the event is of type mouse motion, talk to the lights node, and then what? And then we actually want to do this as well. Lights, position horizontal, 0.0, bar, lights, position horizontal, target. Okay, so it's going to be target that we are going to be adding. And then down here, kind of with Shift Alt arrow down, just like in VS Code was the one that duplicated the lines of code. Okay, target, and then position, and then this is going to be lights. Now, I do need to make it clearly visible, so let's do this. 128 by 128. I'm going to make a quick sprite for the light source, so that we know where the lights are actually situated. Nothing drives me more where there's no indicator where the light's coming from. I'm trying to hunt it down. Okay, this looks like ass. But I have to make my own. I don't want to use a Loticon icons. No, actually, hold on. Why don't I just do that? That was simple. And then just... Sure. Alright. Let's do this. Yeah, sure. It's a circle with little chortlings coming out of it. I'll work with it. Should be white. I'm gonna save this. Assets, sprites, light, and then... Oh, no, we'll run the right folder. Engine, sprites. Light PNG. Okay, we'll go back here. We have this light. Funny thing is, wait, can I not just use the built-in sprite? Sprite 3D. Do we have a way? We gotta have a way. It's like built-in sprites. Sprite frames. There's gotta be a way to access the engine icons. Icon. It's like editor or something. It's not a node. Oh, icons. Editor, export platform, iOS. Nope, those are settings for the exporter. Okay. Get icon. Okay, you know what? Sure, whatever. Oh, what's happening? Really? Okay. Interesting. Map viewer. Okay, that's fine. You know, we'll just use the icon I just made. Sprite 2D. Okay. Does it have the ability to receive lights? Shaded. Aha. There we go. Okay. And then I need to also copy paste it in here. You know, probably better to color it with the same color as the parent node instead of making it shaded. And then I'll just do it like this. Attach a script to it. And then in the process function, we're going to have this icon itself, which is it's already talking to itself. Modulate is going to be set to get parent, which is the light source, and then get the color, light color, from the parent. There we go. Now I just need to apply this. Light icon. I think that should be okay now. So if I rotate the light, there's the icon for the light source. Nice. And then shift right click. Aha. It's working, but not on the correct axis. Should be a rotation on the y-axis. Beautiful. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, we watch. That allows us to see these settings. I'm thinking maybe giving us the ability to control some of the lights would be good. Which means, since we're planning on multiple containers, maybe I'll just go for tabs right away. Panel container, tab bar, tab container. Container that comes creates a tab for each child control. Got it. So I'm gonna place this here. There we go. Oh look, its name is based on the name of the node. Okay, maps. Let's do another one. VBox container. Lights. Okay, so lights. What do we want to do about the lights? So, panel container, or just VBox, I guess. VBox and a VBox. This just gave me an idea to add a model viewer to my asset scanner app too. Yup. label. Light 1. And then what do we want to do about it? I feel like we can just do a grid container, create label, and then we have a slider, H slider, V slider, but that's for range. Horizontal slider that goes from left to right. Maybe we can. Let's double check this. Grid container will have 2 columns. Label will say, I guess, strength. Brightness. Okay. And this H slider is gonna have to expand itself. Like that. But because it's a grid container, it doesn't really line them up right. Wait, why is that just a box container? Isn't that supposed to be a V-box? Yeah, there we go. Okay. Light 1. Settings, and then we do brightness. Then we also do, what do we do here? Color. Instead of a slider, it's going to be a color, color something. There's a color selection box available to us. Color picker. Yes. Nice. Copy this one. It's the default color. The grid container actually might work even better. And then radius. We also need radius, that's what. Size. Keep it simple. Alright. Make this blue. There's no alpha. And maybe we can increase the range, which is the radius, just a little bit more. Alrighty. Cool. Brightness set to by default. Energy 5. Step 0.01, and then I guess 20 should be plenty for the brightness. Maybe 50. Sure. Okay. 5, 50, step 0.01. Size. What's the size of these lights? Range. 7, just round it down. 7. Step 0.01. Then 30 will be the total radius. 7, 0.01, 30. Oh, I say 7, I type 3. Okay, let's start with the color. So we're gonna do color changed. Oh, it doesn't want to establish the signal for me. There we go. We have 2 of them. This doesn't know that. This is where I'm going to be battling my incessant struggle to automate everything, make everything modular. Just get it done. It's not it's not a complicated thing. Color, light color, color. Okay. There we go. That's it. Maybe we should get the camera to look like this in the beginning. Actually, no. We are working on maps, so this is perfect. Oh wow, it actually sends the signal when even a tiny change takes place. That's really cool. Okay, that works. Works for me. Okay, what is this? Brightness. So, light 1, bright. Light 1, range. Light 2, bright. Light 2, range. Drag started, drag ended. Changed. The value changed. Oh, that's even better. That's so nice. 2 separate signals. Although, I feel like you could have just used this and not worry about reading the value. Maybe that was for compatibility though. Okay. Light 1. What is this? Light energy. Light 2. Nice. That works. Size. Rearrange, is that what it is? Omni range, yes. Okay. Yeah, I don't think we need to expose every single property there is. So we'll do no brightness and just work with the orange light. Ambient light would be nice to set changeable. Let's see. Environment. We're gonna stick to just a flat color for the environment. So background. There we go. Okay. So that's what we want. Background multiplier. Unless we can set this to 0. And the ambient light can be increased here. No? Background color. What do you think? Just the ability to change the ambient light. That would be set to like gray. Very dark gray. Oh yeah, background doesn't actually inflict changes on the color of the object. Cool, that works. So we just need ambient color and ambient energy. Okay. There's no size. Let's make the color be the first property. Ambient settings. What did we set it to? This is the color. Disconnect. This is ambient. Ambient. What is the ambient energy set to? 0.05. Do it like this. 15. What was it? 5. More than enough, I think. I don't think it actually goes more than 1, does it? Oh, no, it goes plenty. Got it. So 25 it is. Let's go here. Brightness. Talk to the environment. Environment. And then the property we're trying to set. Ambient light energy. And then we try to set it to what? This value. Okay. Same thing. Ambient light color. I think that's it. Nope. Value not declared, because color is declared. Oh boy. That's just lovely. Can we make sure that it's always on top? We'll have to make sure that's a setting we can change. Ah. Okay, I think we might have to synchronize the background color and the environment color together. Background color. Background energy multiplier. Okay. I think the background color range is way too big. Let's do like 3. Huh? The initial value. Hold on a second. 0.6. And here, it is non-existent. That's yeah, you know what? I'm happy with it. I think this works. Okay, now we have to do something about the height map. Right now the height map doesn't exist, but it still applies itself. So I'm thinking maybe we just go in and set the height scale to 0 in the beginning. Let's say when we're loading this up, height map scale. Oh yeah, we gotta do this. Oh, didn't like that. Text. Right. The location of the node has changed. Path text. There we go. This also changed technically. Maps. Looks like EV is moving. That's the depth. I enabled the depth without applying a map to it. So, there we go. Except it still bugs out. Invalid access property key text from base object of null instance. Okay. Okay there, buddy. Whatever you say. Okay, Grandpa, go to sleep now. Alright, so we'll just do bam. Which, by the way, that little effect can be used to create the last refraction, or if you're like standing on ice. Still doesn't like it. Why? Null instance. Oh, probably because I switched it? Switched the corner? No? No, that was in lights. Interface. Panel container, tab container, maps. And then in the maps, we have more maps. What is this HBox container doing? That's the path, isn't it? Yes. Got it. Still doesn't work. Ah. Wait, path text. A lot of something. That doesn't seem right. This is just general settings. And then inside, path data. Inside of that, we have path text. And then we have text property. Dear God. So help me. Text from base, null instance. Okay. Alright, buddy. You know what? Just go in. There we go. It crashes, but crashes for a different reason now. this. That's what we need to get. There we go. That's what we're looking for. I feel like at least one of these lights should be white. Unless there's supposed to be one directly in front of us, behind us. Okay, cool. Let's get it to zoom in. Zoom in real quick. The zoom is facilitated by simply moving the camera along the z-axis. Like that. Camera distance is going to be a property. We might even have to implement zoom as a separate property. The FOV. Okay, camera distance. So, if the input is mouse button pressed, wheel down, then cam distance plus equals 0.1. That might be too much. I guess we'll have to see. Next, if it's wheel up, we subtract. And then finally here, position Z, we tell it to slowly transition towards this property. Like this, smooth transitioning formula. And it crashes. Alright. Camera 3D is located inside a bunch of nodes. Got it. Okay. That doesn't seem to do squat. Process function. Unless we just can't check for that. Yeah, what the heck. Is mouse button pressed? We might have to handle this using actions. Or we might have to handle this inside of the input event. So I vaguely recall scroll events. Yeah, there you go. Scroll events don't seem to work in the process function for some reason. They used to, but no longer they do. Okay. Well, there you go. Can I make the amount slightly better? Scroll amount. It's going to be 0.1 if, or I guess let's do 0.5 if the shift is held. Else 0.1. And then cam distance has to be clamped. better double check to make sure this actually works. 2.5 if, shift is pressed, else 2.1. This is a variable that does not exist. There we go. Okay, that's kind of close. 1.5. I am going to set the scale. Probably enable deep parallax right away because that's predominantly how I use the height property. Ready? You know what we can use? We can color these labels based on whether or not the map was found or not. Whether or not the map was found. So, we can do this. Map hbox, get child 0, that should be the label, modulate, color green. Otherwise, before we match it up, it's going to be red. There we go. Oh, it only found the roughness. Right. That's a bit of a problem because it doesn't actually... It doesn't match it. Extension not found. I could do this. By default, each element is going to be... Whoop. Doesn't like that. Wait, what? Extension found. Replace extension found. I'm copying the wrong code. There we go. So by default, it's going to be mapped as red. If it passes all of these checks, it's going to be green. That seems to be... There we go. Color map, roughness map. Metallic is looking for an extension called metal. I'm actually quite surprised that it allowed me to get the files. There we go. Get the files from the outside user folder. So you'd think that all the software is sandboxed. There we go. Okay. That's cool. Normal. I should be able to quickly generate a normal map just by doing this. Let's add a filter layer, and then there is height to normal map. And then there's some settings that we're supposed to change here. I forget what they are. Not a sec. Green is supposed to be -y. So positive x, -y, positive z. And now what does this do? Oh wow, you can really dial in the effect, the severity of the effect. That's cool, man. That's really cool. All right, cool. Export this. So it's looking for blah normal. Not engine. That's location. Okay, so immediately, click watch. Nope. Didn't like it. Didn't give me an error. Norm. It also didn't color code anything. That's sort of weird. Well, there's the normal. Except no. Remote. It said albedo, but it did not set normal. There we go. Okay. So I think I just forgot to enable normal here. Ah. Well, that's curious. If the normal map is not enabled, it just disables it, strips it out. Cool. Gonna have to watch out for that. So here, it means we found the map. Enable map for normal height. Although height, I don't think we have to change anything. I suppose because we changed the deep parallax effect. Okay, something else? Possibly. So, if the array of what maps do we need to watch out for? Normal, right? Probably shouldn't be checking the map suffix though. Should be checking the hbox container map type. There we go. This is how we're supposed to do it. If the word normal is found in the map type, or the word ambient occlusion, or AO, is found in the map type, technically it's the other way around. If this array contains this map type, then we're supposed to go to the umesh, get material override 0, then set what? AO enabled, or height map enabled, or normal enabled. So we'll do map type plus the string of underscore enabled will have to be set to true. Haha, nice. Look at that. Beautiful. Alright, and then hold shift. We can rotate the lights to assess this effect. Beautiful. Alright. So again, the whole purpose of this is so that if I choose to work on some like trim sheets, or just want to slap together a quick texture in Krita, Krita doesn't have a texture viewer, and even if it did, it wouldn't be necessarily accurate to how Godot renders the map. So I figured, hey, let's just put together something like this. Let's do occlusion test. We can try to generate occlusion by doing what? Maybe we can detect like mid-range, like this. Very edge. Yes. Let's actually detect this. Yes. And then I'm gonna fill this, all of this, with white. And then I'm gonna do an occlusion effect by having a shadow or a glow. Normal. There we go. Size. Yeah. All right. So anywhere we have this center patch seems to be clear, which is black. So that means I think we got the correct map. Yeah, I think we did. Well, actually, hold on a second. What if we just select the black? Cross off the layers. There we go. And then the black is going to be... There we go. I think that's going to be much more accurate. So, this is blah. AO. Then run this. The ambient occlusion would have ambient occlusion strength that we have to set. Yes, there we go. So now we have these corners. You can see the occlusion actually emphasizes the corners, which really does a pretty damn good job, actually. That's cool. And the last one I think is height. Okay. For height, I'm gonna do something like this. Beautiful. And disable. So height, I believe height requires like a middle gray, more or less, because black goes in and white goes out. Goes upwards, maybe. Find out in a second. Height. PNG. Yep. Let's run this. Okay. We did set height to have no scale though. So I think height texture doesn't get applied. Height map underscore texture. Did it not get applied? Oh, that's weird. I don't actually see the textures being populated here. Maybe not until I pause it. Nope. The height scale is set to 0 though, so let's do if map type has the word. Actually, no. I think we should be able to just do a direct check. Height map. Then height map scale is going to be set to 1.0 for the time being. And that does not seem to actually do anything. feel like it did set the height. Oh, hold on. Height, Height. Yeah, yeah. Map height found. Hmm. It did find it. And it's not complaining about incorrect properties. Or maybe this is disabled. Nope. Then again, I think we should take a look at this. Roughness, metallic. Normal map is enabled. Height is enabled. Scale set to 0. Height map texture. Height map texture. Height found at blah height PNG. It did find it. Fascinatingly enough, the forward slashes and backward slashes seem to work okay. Am I like missing something? It clearly sets it because we see this weird effect. But the map, for some reason, doesn't like the map. Can I just manually set it? See if it works. Okay, it works insofar as weirdly displacing the pixels, but I think that makes sense. That's what we've told it to do. Which actually could potentially be working. Because if the color is the same, we don't see the displacement. So me painting this in all of these places might have been not the best choice. I've painted these in all of the places where there isn't any pixel data to see the displacement. So I'll just do this. Okay. I'll just do black, sure. Oh, okay. No, that's... Whoops. That's the one that I've already set. I don't see any displacement. I just see the whole thing. Okay, let me try this. The map type is height map. right here. Map type, don't get that until this line of code. Okay, then we're gonna reset the scale to 0. Okay, clearly it sets the height. But also clearly, it doesn't work. Maybe the property is not correct. Height map underscore texture. Oh, we have a complaint. Invalid image null. Failed to load image. If only you'd tell me which image you failed to load. Okay, 1 second. Load from file. It just gives us an image. Interesting. There's not even a check if it was successful. Success. Fail. Fascinating. If I export this as JPEG. Still fails. Editor 108. It does say that it's null right here. So maybe if image is null, we can do map suffix print failed to load. Height failed to load. Well, what do you know? Interesting. Why? Why did that fail? There is, quite literally, nothing different about the height map as opposed to any other map. It's just a map. It's just a texture. Why do you have a problem with it? I don't know. Oh boy. Blah underscore height dot jpg. Height. Oh. I see. It tried to load the backup, whatever the heck this file is. That's the create a temporary file. Okay, let's see how it is. We're gonna do if this icon is found in file path, continue. So that's why it was so weird. It was loading the height map, but then after loading the height map, was also trying to load something else. And there we go. There's a height map actually working. Cool. All right. Cool beans. Cool beans, man. All right. We got it. We got it up and running. Let's get some sliders in place. Height scale, normal scale, ambient occlusion strength. That should be fairly simple. General settings. General Kenobi. This is undoubtedly gonna break a bunch of stuff. Settings. Alright. Sliders, no. V-box container. Okay. Parameters. Okay, grid container. Let's do label. Grid container will have 2 elements in it. First is the label, which is going to be what? Height, scale. It's called height amount. Horizontal slider. Tell the horizontal slider to fill up the available space. Okay. Height amount. Normal amount. This is AO strength. AO. Metalness. Roughness. Whoops. Roughness, metalness. Yes. The fact that these things are not centered is kind of annoying. Just look at that misalignment. No. God dang it. Hold on. Can we? We can't make it expand. Ah. Yes, we can. Oh. We are gonna do fill. Oh, that's much better. This grid container could use H separation, V separation. Panel. Give me the style. Style box empty. 10, 10, 10, 10. 5. Everything else is going to be touching the edges. Oh well. We'll change that up later. Okay, parameters. Roughness amount. Metal amount. Height amount. Norm amount. AO amount. Alright, roughness amount. So, we gotta talk to the mesh. Roughness. Nice. Except the range might be higher than 0 and 1, which the shaders will not permit. Okay, roughness, metallic, and ambient occlusion strength. All of these have a maximum value of 1.0. So the amount should be fairly small. The default metallic is 0, roughness is 1, normal is 1, ambient occlusion is 1. Normal doesn't have a limit. Actually, I think it does, but it's like 16. So, and the range can go into negatives as well. So negative 16 to positive 16. Step 0.01. And then 1 is the starting value. Same thing for height. Height can go up to 16. So, value is 1, negative 16, positive 16. Cool. Drag started. What? That's not what I need. Oh no, I did this for all of them. Dang it. Okay. Roughness. Cool. Okay, height. Is it just height or is it height something something? Height map scale. Disconnect. Value changed. Easy. What is this? Normal amount. Is it normal amount? Or is it normal or normal something? Normal scale. Okay. Normal scale. Got it. Last. Property is called name and inclusion light of AO light effect. Alrighty. So that's roughness. Interestingly enough, it still affects the roughness color or the shininess of the crevices. Metalness. Metalness had a default value. Height map. Normal amount. And inclusion. Okay. I mean, seems to be working as intended. What else can we do? Let's add a UV multiplier thing while we're here. Do a label. Oops. UV scale. Oh, that's just a label. Okay. Now, I think we have a range, some kind of a range-based element. I wonder how they make the vector 3s appear in the inspector. Spin box. There's a slider, scroll bar. Okay, might have to be 2 spin boxes. Which means we'll have to do its HBox container. Do like this. 0 to 100. Step is 1. Sure. U amount, V amount. Value changed. Value changed. Alright. So, what value? UV1, UV1 scale. But we have to go further and set only the X component. I think that's how we would do it. Give me a debugging issue. Remapped parameter not found. UV1 scale : X. Oh, UV1. No underscore. Oh, still doesn't like it. Parameter not found. UV1 scale colon X. UV underscore 1 scale. Maybe it's dot X. I think set function might not actually work for this. Yeah. Okay. Just do this. Dot X value. Hey! I'll work with that. Yeah, we shouldn't be setting it to 0 though. Two. Nice. Well, that's interesting. I think I know exactly what we can do here. If we're doing trim sheets, we need to display like 2 or 3 of these elements. So let me just finish this. This will be on the y-axis. I think so. Let's see. Nice. Okay. So if we're doing trim sheets, then we need to create another version of this. Which is going to be scale the x-axis by 4 or 3. Yeah, by 3. So 3 times as big. Okay, we don't need to change anything else. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to copy it before I do this. Scale x, scale x 3. There we go. We're going to export this. Engine, models, view, rect. Okay. So let's make another menu panel here. Mesh. Can this thing stack? Current tab 1. Tab positions alt tab in front. Drag rectangle to rearrange. Deselect enabled. Tab alignment. Flip tabs. Nope. There we go. That's what we'd like. Okay, in the mesh, VBox container, button. Cube. Say set display mesh type. Cube, long cube. At least for the time being, this should be it. I am going to copy this style box rect while we're here. Paste it in. There we go. Okay. Cube. button down. Erect, button down. Okay. View cube. I need to preload some of these things. Bar meshes. Predefined meshes. Let's call it that. Cube. I'm gonna preload view cube. Texture. We're gonna set predefined meshes. Cube. Again, yes, we could have just used one function and send in the keys, but I deserve to be lazy today. Rect. And we'll crash. Property texture with... Oh, texture? What the heck? Mesh. That's what I get for being lazy. There we go. Which means if we go here, we can increase it to 3 times, and then display the trim sheets this way. Maybe panning might be a good idea. There we go. That allows us to see the repeated texture. Cool. I mean, this pretty much gets the job done for trim sheets. Right now, Shift right-click rotates the lights. Maybe we should do Control right-click for rotating the lights, and Shift right-click would be panning the camera. And we'll have to have a button for resetting. Okay, that's Control. Next, Elif, E, Shift. This one might be tricky because we have to base it off of the camera view, camera basis. Yeah, shouldn't really be too bad. Let's see. I think for this one we can just get away with doing cam offset vector 3. Okay, and then we'll say camera offset plus equals camera global transform dot basis dot x multiplied by the event relative dot x. So X movement of the mouse multiplied by the global X basis of the camera will be added to here. And then same thing on the Y. Y. Okay. Now this starts as 0, 0, 0. And then here we will say camera carriage dot position plus equals this, whatever position is in here, divided by 20. Dear God. Oh, okay, it's going. It's working. It's just needs to be a lot smoother. So times delta times delta. Okay, and then if we rotate the camera, oh, okay, that's curious. Wait, that was incorrect from the get-go. Yes, good. So we need to subtract. There we go. Up, down, and then when we rotate the camera, left, right. Rotate like this, left, right, and we need to have a return to the origin. Which, to be honest, there's this one thing that I like VST plugins do in music software, and it is if you have a parameter and you double click on it, it resets that parameter to default. And I think if we do like a quick double tap with a right click, and it would return it to default center. I feel like that might be a cool little feature. Except we don't have his key label. Yeah, key label pressed. Okay. And then we'll only do it when you hold shift. Okay. Right click. That's going to be the name of the action. Because we have to use action commands to check for a click quickly. Let's do if input is action just pressed, right click. So just press, that's what we'd like here. Then we're going to have a timer node, right click timer. We're going to set it to 1, maybe 0.5 seconds. It's going to be one shot. And then we'll do if right click timer is stopped, then right click timer will start. Else, if it's already started, we're going to tell cam offset to become vector 3 0 0 0, which we could also do like this. Yes, we do this, fly off somewhere, double click, and then it returns. And because we did smooth transitioning formula on everything, it just gets the job done pretty quick. Alright. Now, hypothetically speaking, out of the base functionality for this crap, there's one last thing that it needs to do, which is automatically watch this folder. So we click watch, and it should just be sitting there and watching and detecting changes. Now, let's do a little test. File access has get SHA-256. And it takes a path representing the file that is given to path empty string and failure. Yes, so we are going to do the following. We're going to do a little test here. Map suffix file. Okay. We're gonna print this, the hashing of this file. I'm pretty sure that's what this is. Except we have to be talking to a file access object to be able to do this. Or do we? Can we just talk to file access class like that? Would that work? It does work. Okay. So right. Let's only run this if a file is correct, if the map is matched. Okay. So every time we run this, we're going to get the same exact hashing value. Now let's say that the height changes. So we go here, add the squiggle, export, replace. Okay, so right now, 9F8D5 is the height map. Now it's 084235. So any sort of file changes that happen on these files will cause the hash to be different. And we can use that to detect if the file has changed and have this thing automatically update itself in the process. Cool. Okay, so what does that mean? What do we need to do? We need to have some sort of a hash check timer. Okay, it's going to be every, let's say, 5 seconds. We'll let the user change this. Okay. So hypothetically, when we read the files for the first time, we have to store the hashes somewhere so we can check if they have changed. So, whoops, let's make a variable called map hashes. Okay. And then the keys have to match. Let's see. Parameters, no, general, nope. Yeah, parameters. Nope, general. They have to match these maps. I'm pretty sure this returns a string, doesn't it? Yes. So we'll just do that. Okay. Can we just... There we go. Okay. Now, when we click map hashes, we're gonna have to make a record of these hashes. So map suffix. I don't think that's what we want. We want map type. Talk to map type. Store the hash that was generated here. Nice. And then we shall launch Hash check timer. Now, when we do this, when the timer finishes running, it basically needs to do this whole thing again, minus the loading of the maps immediately at least. Directory, yes. Except for that. Except for a lot of this stuff. Okay, let's do this. And I copy. Paste this in here. What do we not need out of here? Get the text. Attempt to open the file. Get the files. Loop through the boxes. We'd also have to detect if we remove a map, so that might have to be something for us to consider. Map name, map suffix. We don't need to color anything. I have an idea that we can do for coloring. Anytime it detects that a map has been updated, it'll make it flash for a second. Okay. It's all about user communication. Map type, height map. That's irrelevant. It might be relevant later down. Map file path. It's tilde. We ignore it. Temporary file. JPEG, JPG, PNG. Extension found. Return. Replace the extension. Check if the suffix is found. I feel like it might have been easier to try to... No, never mind. We do have to actually search through all the files to match all of their suffixes. Okay. Prints, don't need this. Map hash. Okay, so this is where we say if the hash does not match the one that was here, it has to be updated. Then we actually let the rest of this to run. And then we're gonna mark it as orange. Okay. And then we don't need to touch the timer because it is automatic. And we don't need the rest because we already updated the hash. Height value. Yeah. You know, there's really not a whole lot different. Probably could have just put this thing up there. And then just on the timer run this function. Because our hash realistically is non-existent in the beginning. So yeah, why don't I just do that? Seems like a much easier way to do it. File path. Extension found. And then before we did the suffix. Actually, no, after we did the suffix. Isn't it? Where did we do this test? Suffix and then hash. Got it. this. Okay, now here it's going to be green. I'm going to make it be orange. That just indicates that we've loaded it. And then we'll run this function on the timer. And that's it. You just check all of the maps. Check if all of the maps have been loaded. There we go. Oh. Interesting. It did update it, but it marked everything as red. Because the hashes didn't change, so it didn't detect that something has been updated. Fascinating. So should we maybe mark it as red? Only if we fail to find it? Yeah, like we do it here. Oh, but that's not going to be good because that will do it for every single file. That's why we did it up there. Okay, got it. So maybe we don't mark it in red. Cool. I do want it to return to green afterwards. So how much do I need to copy here? Probably just this. Process function. Return map labels to green. Map box dot get child 0. That's the label. It has to have modulate. And we're going to tell it to return to what? White. White is the default color, whatever that color is. So we say blurb. Okay. I'm going to have to do this to help me out with this. Var label of type label. So the variable label, we give it a hint that it's of type label, so it knows it. So now, when we say modulate, it knows what it is, and then lerp to color white over the course of 0.1 second. So, right. Except, no. Map hbox. Maps. Then children are these. Child 0 is that. Oh, right. We have to actually push the data back into modulate. There we go. And then after 5 seconds, it doesn't mark them because it didn't find anything different about them. But that also means that also means that the scale was reset. Huh. Interesting. Maybe we don't set it here. Reset the height map scale to 0. Let's move it in here. We need to basically track which maps never got set because the maps were missing, and then set their amounts to 0. I mean, realistically, we only need to do that on the height. So if the map type is height map, and there is no texture yet, height map texture value, if it is 0 or nothing, then we set the scale to nothing. So don't reset it unless there is no height map to be set in the first place. Okay. Alright. Cool. I have a feeling we're probably going to need to have a text box version of this as well. What's interesting is that in Godot Engine, you can just click and drag the number. One of these spin boxes, I think. But, oh, you can drag it here. Never mind, we're good. We are Gucci. Mesh. Height. So now, hypothetically, if I were to do anything to the map, and then export it, overwrite it, we should see the height get updated here in 5 seconds, because it would detect changes. Height. Yes? No? Really? Ah, I've exported the wrong thing. Height. There we go. So you saw that it got orange and then returned back to white. So it detected that there was a change. And it also ended up setting the scale to something else. Maybe we shouldn't be setting this. Maybe... Okay, we'll leave it at that for a second. Because what if the user set it to 0 explicitly? Okay. Let's make the color transition a little bit slower. It's in the process function. Where am I going? There we go. Let's do 0.02. Okay, so if I were to go to Krita, and then let's say we update the color map. G. Okay. There we go. So it updated automatically. Okay. Let's go ahead and add a timer preview. So after this, container, label. Okay. Updating in. I'm gonna have a label with the number. Then we'll have a button to force refresh. And we can force refresh by clearing all the hashes and running the function. Okay. Update info. We're gonna hide this. And then when we click on the button and it successfully starts looking at the path, so it is correct, get files, we will tell this come true. And then this label refresh time left. Go to process function. Refresh time left. Text. What is it? Hash check timer. Time left. Except this has to be turned into a string plus a string of s at the end. Jesus. Okay, let's turn this into an integer. Okay. Let's do this. Let's say when it's visible, it's going to be 0. Okay, this will be a /, and then the spin box is going to have a minimum size of 16, 32. Doesn't want to be smaller than this, 40. Huh. Maybe it's because it's expanding. Fill, shrink. Nope. I guess it's got a minimum size. Editable, yes. $60. That's seconds. Maybe it should be like 5 minutes. the maximum number is 5 minutes, that is. Refresh time. We're gonna do value changed. Hash timer. Wait time will be set to this value. Beautiful. And then thinking we'll give this enough room to show 3 zeros at least. So that's how big? 20 to 32 pixels. We're gonna have it centered on the right, aligned to the right. And then can we minimize the amount of space? Like that. Maybe when we press this button down, it is going to reset the time and then rerun this code. Except the value has to come from the spin box. No, also that value is supposed to be 5 seconds by default. The S might not be required now. Not sure why it goes straight for reducing to a 4, even though it's 5 seconds. Maybe it's because it has to be rounded instead of turned into an integer. Oh yeah. Maybe sealing it. There we go. Cool. I mean, to be fair, for all intents and purposes, this is done. And for the time being, it's just cube and long cube. I feel like maybe we should move the UV scale into the mesh. You are much more likely to adjust those values under that menu. UV scale. Nice. Beautiful. That is beautiful. Set display mesh mode. Well, I mean, it's basically all that we had to do here. Hasn't shot Godot map previewer. So we'll call it that. Let's go find ourselves a nice font. I bet it's gonna be Bebas Niue as always, or Roboto. Oswald. Oswald that ends well. What do we got? Oh, Bebas Niue. Sure. Hector. Interesting. Yeah. Good old classic. Downloads. Yup. We can't drag and drop stuff from a zip file. Open font license. Use, studied, modified, distributed freely as long as they're not sold by themselves. We are not selling them by themselves. Sold with any software provided the reserved names are not used by the derivative work. That seems to be good. Matter of fact, it's this software and the soundboard that I think I should put up on Steam. The soundboard software. Okay. That's in general. Maybe during an update it should find the maps that are missing and clear them. I feel like that's what we should do. Right. Missed maps. We're gonna make a list. Okay. Map type. As a matter of fact, we're gonna do this. We're gonna append map type into this list, and then here, if the map has been found, we're going to remove. Erase. Erase takes a value. There we go. Alright, so by the end of this routine, if any maps were missed, remove any maps still present in the shader. For map in missed maps. Okay. We had a place here where we set the texture. There we go. And then set the texture to null. Map type. Map type is not what we have. We have map. And then of course, if it's height map, if the map was a height map, we gotta set it to 0. And I think we don't have to do anything of the sort for any other maps. Okay, watch this. Let's do this. We're gonna print removed missing map texture of map. Start watching. Found. So this location. So if I were to delete the roughness map, okay, we just lost the roughness, but maybe it's also a good idea to have it talk to the map and then make it flash red. I mean, it would be nice if the maps were just gone. We might be able to use the hashing information for this. If the map is missing, the hash should be gone. Which, by the way, we should do that. Turn it back to an empty string. Okay. And then with that in mind, maybe if we go up here, where we color the dang thing. There we go. Get the children. And then map name. I'm just going to get the name. Whatever. That's fine. You know what? Too overcomplicated. We're just going to go straight directly to working with the name. So we'll do if the map hashes that correspond to the name of the node is not equals to an empty string. We're going to get the child before then, because we have to get it either way. Label. Then it's going to be slowly modulating to white. Else, it is an empty string. It will be dark gray. Okay. Roughness did not get updated because there was no roughness. Okay. Let's set it to every 1 second. Good day. Alright. Maybe every 2 seconds. Cool. So if we start removing these maps, normal. Okay, normal map. And we can actually make it flash in red when it is removed. Okay, we can do that by talking to maps. get node. We're gonna use the same map as the node name. Get child 0, modulate, color red. Okay, so start watching, and we crash. Why? Get node, vbox container, node path. Roughness. We should have roughness here. Maps. Roughness. Invalid type get node base vbox container cannot convert argument 1 from string name to node path. Huh? String name that wants a node path. Yeah, so we can generate a node path from the string, which really that should have. I don't know why it's doing that. Okay. Well, there you go. Okay. So it still detects that roughness and normal are not present. Cool. And then if I'm gonna start deleting these maps, height, set it to 2 seconds, no more height map, occlusion, metal, no more metallic, color, color. There we go. Maybe when the albedo gets cleared, we can have it set itself back to default albedo. Away. Texture. Up arrow. And then when we remove it, if map albedo this albedo texture will be set to the default texture. This number, interesting. It doesn't start unless there's at least one map present, which shouldn't really be the case. There, past check timer. Yeah, you know what? This should just run right away. Seconds, and it still starts at 5. So when we set this to 3, it doesn't actually update it. We should make it be. Oh, there is a thing here. Maybe that's because we didn't press enter or clicked away. Nope. Interesting. Set this to 3. Watch. Now it sets it. Okay. Got it. Alright, so that should work. So now the value only changes, yeah, only if you press enter, apparently. Alright, that's fine. It's a fairly minor thing. Actually, I think a tiny adjustment that we can do is that every time it runs out of the time, we're gonna make it read the time from that value, just in case. Set it to 3, watch 5, sure, fair enough. 3. As a matter of fact, yeah. Why don't we also do this when we press the button. On path. Yeah, on path button. So we don't need to start the timer a bajillion times. Okay, so if I do 3, watch. Nope. Watch. Starts at 3. Alright, fair enough. Cool. So maybe hiding this might also be useful. So now, if I go over here, start exporting. So this is albedo. There we go. It loaded the albedo map. That's cool. Next, let's do metallic. So metallic is... We don't have metallic. Metallic was just black. Maybe we can combine it like this. Metallic. And then this is metal. Okay. There we go. So tap on metallic. I don't see squat here though. Probably because metalness is set to 0. Or maybe it's because it's also rough. Yeah, no, metallic does something. But it doesn't seem to do it with the map in mind. Hmm. Did it give me any errors? Nope. Metal map found. So it did load it. I'm fairly certain that it did set it. But I just don't see it affecting it that much. Hmm. The hash will change, so that should have loaded the new metallic map. If I disable all of it. Okay. Yeah, I don't see it changing in any way. As a matter of fact, even this doesn't seem to change anything. Oh, it does. But not according to a texture, though. Yeah, that's the thing. Let me try to do a literal test. If I take this... this in here. Metallic. What is that texture? That's metallic. Yeah, that has a literal visual effect on this. Huh. Maybe we can double check if it actually sets the proper parameter. Although it would have complained that the parameter is incorrect. Why is this here twice? Let's see. Path, map type, texture. Jeez. That's misspelled. Print. Setting. Map type plus texture with this texture. This texture came from image, which came from this file path. Oh, that's just base color, isn't it? Okay. Metal.png. Maybe when it's set to metallic, the value is set to nothing. What is this called? Metallic, just metallic. 1.0. I could actually potentially be up. Oh, yeah, there we go. That's what the issue was. The amount was set to 0. But does that mean that this doesn't actually change the amount? Metalness. Does metalness actually adjust metalness? Oh, it adjusts roughness, of all things. Fascinating. Okay. Now, these sliders don't get updated when the maps get loaded. It's another bit of a problem. So let's set it value 1.0. Metallic. That's metallic actually. This is height. Okay, normal stays the way it is. It doesn't, if there's no map, it doesn't affect it in any way. Ambient occlusion, same thing. Roughness, keep it max, I guess. Or maybe not. If map type roughness value 1.0. Okay, that's strange. What's the maximum value for roughness? 1. Interesting. Okay. Okay, well that doesn't make too much sense. Let's see. Roughness is set to 0.5. So maybe we should have that be the starting value. And we'll have it also reset the shader. What is it called? Just roughness? Yep. I guess we can just quickly set the slider. 0.5. Maybe metallic can be 0.5 as well. Nope, actually, that doesn't make sense. Let's keep it at 0. Maybe also adding a specular slider might be nice. Oh, it looks like debugger doesn't like it. Metallic. Oh, that's not even the right place to be looking for that. It's this one. Nice. That's much more like it. Alright, and let's start watching. It sets... I feel like if metalness is there, it should probably just set it to 0.5. Going all the way ham to 1. Actually, no. If there is a texture, then setting it to 1 simply makes use the whole texture. So your texture should already have proper metallic values on it. You have to adjust it in the slider. Something's wrong with your texture. So this, as soon as you apply the material, or as soon as you apply a texture to the metalness is now based on the texture. If something looks wrong, check the texture. This is just a afterthought. So cool. We'll leave it that way. Height map. That's good. That's good. All right. For the most part, let's say this looks okay. And just being able to hide this panel, I think would be nice. Here's what I'll do. HBox container. Call it header. Put the label and a button. The button will say settings. Because the whole point of this tool is so that I could just have it display the material and then dock it or position it. Are you going to include possibility to use other meshes as well? Possibly. I don't think there should be too much difficulty on getting that to work. Probably just OBJs would be sufficient enough. There's also the question of multiple materials, but that's... I feel like that's... If I'm going to add custom meshes, then suddenly... Now you have to think about, what if a mesh has multiple materials? Now, hypothetically, I could just do a relatively cheap system where there's like a material index, and then when you take it up and down, it just selects a different material index, loads the slider values. But again, it's like it's a bit much. Could integrate it into the editor as well. Potentially could. I probably like the whole point of this is to keep this as a material previewer when I'm making maps here in Krita, so that I can see in Godot display of what the textures would look like. Would loop through the material slots and assign the same material everywhere. same material, or I could have a separate tab that allows me to add an X amount of materials, and then each material will have like a index that assigns that we can assign to it, and the index would be corresponding to one of the surface materials. But what if you have a 3D mesh with multiple meshes? Technically, with OBJs, that shouldn't be a problem. It's just one single mesh. But GLTFs, that's a whole other pain in the ass, because, you know, now that's being interpreted as scenes. And, yeah. Oh well, I feel like I'm getting way ahead of myself. Maybe I should just wrap this up, push it out, and then, you know, call it a day for the time being, because, again, I was gonna make a bunch of maps for, not a bunch of maps, but a trim sheet for this booth, which is really supposed to be like a metal paneling with a bunch of rust in it. And I figured, if only there was a piece of software that could allow me to preview the maps I'm making in programs like Krita, and just instantly show it what it would look like in Engine. I mean, technically, I could just make a material and assign placeholder maps, and then replace those maps in Krita. In that case, I could see it. But I feel like that's a bit much. So, hence why today we spent our time making this. Okay. Button down. Oh. Disconnect. Again. Tell you what, the purpose of this tool is to show me trim sheets and basic textures as they are in Godot Engine. I'll pay the Steam $120 release thing. I'll put this app up on Steam, and if there's enough interest in it, then I can consider, you know, putting more time into it and doing multi material and all that good jazz. But, you know, I'm no, what's his face? The guy who made the quick menu for Blender. Something Passive Star. I'm no Passive Star with you know, mountains of charitable donations in their time. Maybe once I'm a bit more comfortable, I can focus on making publicly available tools. Cool. Alright, that's it. I gotta go myself as well. Got the thing working. That's all that I needed to do. Alright. Cool beans. That's it. Thanks everybody for watching.